Mom. He's having a bottle. I think I'm free.
All right.
Yay!
Hi, everybody out there on Kickstarter. If we do post this, I don't know if we're gonna. Whatever.
We'll see.
Uh,
Excuse me.
it's been a productive. It's been pretty productive since our last meeting, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling pretty good about stuff.
Yeah.
Who wants to start?
You do you want to start with art?
Yes.
Hell yeah,
All right.
I do.
Let's kick off some art.
Okay, so I haven't been as productive as you guys have. Most of my time, I did get a chance to check in with all of the artists.
Nice. That sounds productive.
That sounds productive.
That's all I've had time to do, but I'm going to make it sound as impressive as it is.
Well, there are 16 of them, so like.
Yeah. So, most importantly, so Rock is finishing Avalan. Have you guys seen the last pass at Avalan before the finishing touches?
I
don't
think
think so.
the last one we saw was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was still
yeah.
like rough.
Yeah.
So he did a cleaned up bust that he was then I gave him like one more round of notes because like the ear still looks weird to me, and he's gonna put the finishing lines on that. He says he's gonna have it to me by the end of the week, so by tomorrow I assume.
Okay.
Let me find the email that has that in it. Here we go.
That's nice.
He also sent me a full body drawing for Elarath, which is very cool. It's not super Elarath, though, to me. I showed it to
Right.
Lisa. I haven't heard back yet.
I talked to Lisa yesterday. She's been having
Yeah.
a rough time at work, so like she'll get back to you.
Yeah, no worries. I don't want to harass her because I kind of knew that she's been busy with other stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it seem like you have to answer now.
Right,
But
right.
if he finishes Avalan and we're not ready to move on with Elarath yet, I do want to make sure Rock is working on something else. If you guys
Sure.
want to identify the next piece for him, where should I put these in the Discord?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
do Discord.
All right, let me throw them in the Discord. And this is all Zach approved. I will send him the lines one more time once I get this final version. Once I get this final version from Rock, it'll be ready to move on to the colorist. Here we go. Art. Boom. There's Avalan.
Oh. Wow, he is ugly.
So I told him, I was like, the ear placement looks weird. It looks like it
Yeah.
needs to be further back on
Yeah,
his
Yeah,
head.
it looks
but
like you need to
besides
just
that,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
I said, besides that, it looks good, though. I mean, his neck is all scarred up and weathered and shit like that. Like, I think it looks cool.
I think that looks very good.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
the claw earring.
Yeah.
I do too. It's
And
I just know he ripped that off of a tiny innocent creature.
like a squirrel or
I
something.
know, it's like, what size of creature is that from?
Yeah. Is he gonna go down further, like what Adam's doing?
See, I didn't have an example from Adam at the time to show to him. I can see if I can get him to go down a little further.
yeah.
I felt like this was better than just like a headshot, but it's not
It's
probably as full of a bust.
Right. I mean, that one doesn't bother me so much. The deep V bothers me because it looks like it should be sitting in some rich white dude's library.
Yeah.
It looks like the bust from the 1969 Batman.
No.
It looks
Yes.
like a lot of busts.
Well, it's the one with the red button and the tube, the
Okay.
poles.
Yeah.
Come.
I feel
Everything's
like
about Batman, Jason. You're right.
Yeah,
I feel like
I know
as, as a general rule, as far as I have thought of it up to this point, and let me know if I should think of it differently for future busts, is that as long as we're getting more than the neck, like we're getting some shoulders and some chest,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty good guideline. Because I think some of them have been, or the way we've talked about some of them have been like all the way out to the end of the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's necessary for everybody, but
No, I mean, like if someone has like pauldrons or something like that, that's
Yeah.
iconic or something they want to fit in. That's one thing. But
Okay.
as like the cutoff should be like this area, like right in
Yeah.
here. You know, the
Okay.
bust.
Yeah, this is like mid sternum down
Yeah.
down for him. So okay, I'll show you the final lines when they come in. But I feel pretty good about that aside from the ear.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So that's that. I did get 2 sketches from. Sorry, I'm looking through everything right now.
Of course.
You're good.
Carlos. I got Carlos's creatures.
Oh.
Ooh.
So let me get those. Which one do you want first? You want a Brun or you want a Teague?
Let's go Tig first, and then Brun.
Right, okay.
Tig.
Tiger, burning bright.
In the forest of the night.
Oop.
Cute!
Oh, that's perfect!
Yeah, that's.
It's like a fluffy lemur.
It really
Yeah.
is. That's the only thing. It's got a real lemur face. Like that's just a lemur face.
In Carlos's defense, we did say lemur face.
Yes. So
So, if you want it less lemur, now's the time, but, like, that's not his fault.
no. This wasn't like a fault thing. It's like, oh, that just came out as a lemur. So like,
To
yes.
lemur. I will put in the notes.
I think the thing that would differentiate it, just me personally, would be color.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like, if you don't color it like a lemur, it's going to look like something different.
Like if it's got bright yellow eyes, it's gonna look like a lemur. I think. You know.
Yeah, the snout and the eyes too, the ringer and the eyes and stuff like that. Because I don't, in my head, I don't see them that way. So like,
So
Okay.
if you got rid of the ring around the eyes, that would very much... maybe if you got rid of the ring and also made the eyes bigger, because if I recall correctly, it was supposed to have, like, really
huge
big
eyes. Yeah. Big,
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe get rid of the ring, but then make the eyes the size of the rings.
Yeah.
Or closer to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does look
Okay.
like it looks like a offbeat anime creature. It almost looks like Snarf.
A little bit. Yeah. It's like a realistic snarf.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I see like part squirrel, part
Yeah.
like
Hell yeah.
bodybuilder.
He's a
You see
swole
those
squirrel.
arms?
he's got like drumsticks for arms.
Like that thing is jacked.
He lifts, bro.
Look how big those thighs are. Are you kidding me?
It's just squats all day. Just...
Do we even lift, bro?
All right. Well, here's the Brun.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
that looks like something.
Looks like Umbreon.
Yes.
It does look a little like a Pokemon. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Does. I love it.
I would make it fatter.
That was my thought too. I
Fatter.
imagined like rounder
Yeah.
in general.
Because
Yeah.
they're hunted for their like succulent meat. So like.
Right.
Yeah, it should look like you want to hunt one of
Gotta see
those
that.
before you want to hunt a tig.
Yeah. There's a like a rodent in like the steppes that I've seen on like planet Earth that is completely round. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the name of it is. It's like related to the marmot or some shit, and it's
Okay.
completely round. And I want to see if I can find pictures of that, and show them to you and see if that's what you're thinking. Because it's like, this is a rodent that is spherical, and therefore delicious.
You just pop it in your mouth. It's
That's what the
They call
fox
them
did on planet
poplars.
Earth, actually.
Oh.
Um,
I picture it. It's weird because like I picture.
I want to make a deal with it that like everyone thinks is going to be a really cute magical girl anime, and then they behead someone, and you're like, oh shit, it's dark.
Like I picture it being like real fat body, but like agile cat legs, and I don't know why that's working for me. Like they would come in different shapes and sizes, but like for that one, it's like let's just make that body fatter. Like this just
Yeah, I
Keep the
think that
legs.
the shape and length of the legs is good. I think if you just make the body fatter around it, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I
might
think you
do
did
it.
a really good job at combining like the weird stout tail with the cat tail
Yes,
thing. Like
yes.
we
Yeah.
described that as best we could.
And some of this is tough because like the only
Yeah.
thing like I try to boil these down really like simply. It's like, well, if you take this and this and put it together, that's kind of what it is. And it's
Yeah.
really tough because people just go, oh, I'll just take these two things and put them together. And it's like,
Yeah.
well,
It's a
that's
Pokemon
halfway. there.
fusion. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Diablo
Yeah.
will not be that because it's totally different.
So the other thing I have is I have another round of drawings from Saba
Saba.
for
the
players
cast.
as characters.
Ah.
Ooh.
I did get a note for Val that I thought was really funny.
Mhm.
Val, she needs more reference photos for you because you're smiling too much in them. And she needs a
That's
more
funny.
neutral expression.
That is her neutral expression.
Let's watch back this
It's
video we've
actually
recorded.
funny because it's super not my neutral expression.
Every time I
Like,
hang
I
out
look
with
like
you.
I'm really upset and angry. Like if
I've
someone just
never
like
seen
sees
you
me,
look
they're like,
upset
"Oh,
and
she
angry."
seems very unapproachable because she seems really mad about something."
I
Maybe-
hung out with you for 5 days and I did not see you frown.
Yeah. No.
Maybe it's a thing where like if you know you're being photographed or something, but like no, not even then because you've been on camera this entire time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I photograph poorly.
He can't
Well,
smile.
because you try to.
What? I don't though. Okay. I had the opposite problem where Bree had to look for reference photos of me smiling because I just look like a
Couldn't
prick
find
in
a
everything.
single one. I found one. I think I found one, and it was like someone accidentally got a picture of you, like you're in the background
In the wild, like a
smiling. And I'm
Bigfoot.
like, zoom in. Yes.
It's blurry.
It's just me like in mid stride, like looking at the camera.
Looking over your shoulder.
But you're cackling, which is really weird. Like a nightmare Bigfoot.
So, because of that, I don't have a second draft of Val.
Okay.
So what do
but
I need? A picture?
Just like a neutral, like
a couple yeah, doesn't have to be like stone faced, just more neutral expression, you know,
Here, let's screenshot right
like
now.
a mugshot, you know.
yeah.
Oh, my mugshot. Got it.
Yeah,
got it,
good,
got it.
Just
yeah.
dig out your
Yeah, right,
mugshots
yeah.
from that time,
That's
and then
you know all those stabbings.
you remember the stabbings.
No, guys, we're not supposed to talk about it.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, the injunction.
So was Val that person who stabbed everyone in the butt? Okay, 'cause you're small and that happened in real life.
Wait, what? What are we talking about?
There was a real. You guys didn't hear about that?
No, I
There was a
don't know.
real life butt stabber. He would just
Yes.
go around stabbing people in the butts.
Was this-
Usually at malls.
Usually,
and
yeah.
ladies.
It was ladies.
Is
He would
this
stab them in the
Florida
butts.
man? No offense,
I
Florida
mean-
man.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Let's be honest. It's a very Florida man thing.
Alexa, where is the butt stabber from?
Here's what I found on Butt's Wikipedia page. Originally, the tunnel was defined as 200.
Alexa, stop.
Wait, I wanted to know what 256 butts were like.
I mean, granted, that might have been like the 166th link on the butts Wikipedia page, where it's like butts, see stabber, like just.
But you just gave me an idea because after I get off this call, I'm gonna go ask Alexa to tell me all about the butts Wikipedia page. Because
I love asking
that's
her for
hilarious.
things.
I'm gonna have her do it when my 5-year-old's awake because he's gonna never stop laughing.
Wait, okay, earlier I legit asked her this and I told Jason I was going to do this. Alexa, who was the villain in Buzz Lightyear?
Here's something I found from the article list of Toy Story characters on Wikipedia. Evil Emperor Zurg is a space villain action.
I don't understand how she do that. Alexa, stop. It was a throwaway, like, haha, I'm going to joke about this real quick because I was brought it up in a conversation. I was like, it was Evil Emperor Zurg.
Let's see what she
knows.
finds on Evil Emperor Zurg on the butts Wikipedia page.
Yay,
Oh.
butts. All right.
And for closure, serial butt stabbers from Virginia.
Oh.
Ah, thank you.
Did they ever catch him? Did they get him?
He's a serial.
Still
butt
at large.
Do I need to be concerned?
Well, we're going to Georgia. It's pretty far removed.
That's fair. Okay.
I don't know. He might be on the lam.
He's had time to migrate.
Anyone with information about this case should call it internet.
Oh
so
my-
I'm
Oh,
thinking
no.
no.
Wow. How do
He's
you?
still out there somewhere.
Oh man.
Stabbing butts.
All
All right.
So
Saba needs a neutral vowel.
yeah, we
Do-
need a neutral
I
vowel.
don't see any pictures.
Take
I guess
one.
I have to take pictures.
Yeah, I was
Literally
gonna
You gotta
say.
take a picture.
Here's what happened. Like both me and Xavier for our first round of notes, literally like took an extra picture of our face and sent it to her. So you
Yeah.
can do that if you want.
And
Like,
I
you
might
don't
have to as well too. So don't feel
Yeah.
What
bad.
about this one? This one I did, I think, the day of my graduation, but it's more of like a neutral smile
Oh,
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
aw.
That's
That's
perfect.
nice.
That's
me in a
adorable
robe.
picture. Yeah.
It looked like a fancy dress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We do.
that's something like that would be fine. If you want to email it to me or just drop it in the Discord or whatever, and I'll send it along
Okay. I'll
next
see if
when
I
I
can
get
find
back to her.
a picture.
Because she did send me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pictures.
Oh,
Wow.
that's half.
So
the
I got
cast.
a round of note collecting to do
Ooh.
before I get back. Do you want to see the second draft of the first group, or do you want to see the first draft of the second group?
I want to see all of them.
Second
Okay.
draft of first group.
Well, I'm going to show you all of them. Yeah.
Okay.
but-
Yeah. Let's start with the first draft of the second group, because
The second draft of the first group, or
no, the first draft of the second group, so
Okay.
that we
Okay.
we go up in order of. Why did we make it that confusing?
Quality.
Yeah, thank
literally
you.
I'm sorry I even gave you the option.
No.
I literally went, Jason, did you mean the opposite of that? Without even thinking.
My nose starts bleeding. Like, I don't know.
My head just explodes.
Well, in that case, let's start with Susan.
Oh,
I like
okay.
that.
I'm gonna pull up the Discord here.
I'll
and
put
make
it side by
smaller.
side with Susan so that
Oh,
we
yeah.
can see.
Okay.
That's pretty cute.
So I'm gonna hit you up after this, Susan, for like specific notes. Basically, what we did the first round was like, my nose isn't shaped like that, or whatever notes you do have, feel
Mhm.
free, because she takes them really well.
My nose is shaped like that, though.
Okay, well, that was like all of the notes in the first round. Was everybody's like, no, that's not my nose.
No, this is
Um,
perfect because you're at the exact right angle. It's like, well, her
Yeah.
eyes are a little further apart.
And
Yeah.
like you're okay. So like clone Susan is like the jaw's a little square and the forehead's a little
Yeah.
big.
My head's rounder, less square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So stuff like
so we'll
that.
give all the
That's
notes.
all.
Yeah, we'll do
those are
that
the
all
types-
later.
Yeah.
That is a great second draft.
Yeah. That's first draft.
First draft.
First
Sorry.
draft, second draft. Let's do Zach.
Zach.
Da-da-da-da.
So I don't need to even take notes for this because they're going to give notes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not as familiar with how Zach looks.
Zach is rarely on camera. He's
He's
aloof.
very.
Yeah.
No, he's on Instagram a lot.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, him and his
Oh.
girlfriend are way too fucking pretty, and it makes me mad.
They're very
oh,
photogenic.
I know. His
Yeah.
girlfriend is so pretty.
They look like models when they take
Yeah.
photos next to each other. It makes me angry. It angers
How
me.
dare they?
How
I'm
dare
mad
you be
about
that
that.
beautiful?
I have Lisa. Do-do-do-do.
Lisa was a tough one because I was only able to dig up like 3 pictures.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm
Oh,
digging the
wow.
headband. I don't know why I
Yeah.
like the headband.
Yeah,
but
I thought the headband was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
there's.
looks like she's getting ready to study something.
Yeah.
Or she's getting ready to fight.
Fucking fight.
Oh no.
That one, I think this one like really looks like her though.
Yeah.
Like I
it's-
see
it's-
this one and I'm like, oh, this is Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My only thing with Lisa is she's a fighter, and I don't see a lot of like.
Fighty type.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
her hair's fine for that, but like I mean maybe it's just because she hasn't done it yet with this sketch, but the body just looks like she's wearing like cloth.
Yeah,
So I'd
and I
like to
think
see
she
something done
specifically
with
said
that.
like she didn't want any cloth on her arms, if I remember correctly. Like she wanted like a tank top.
Yeah.
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 So I'll
Do you know
show
what's
it to her.
tough
She said.
in a fantasy setting? Glasses.
Yeah.
If you're a
Yeah.
fighter and you're getting so if you're a sorcerer, like okay, Michael can come, loaded for bear with spells, and he's wearing glasses, like perfect. Lisa comes up with a flail. It's like take those glasses off, but it's like I need to see the thing I'm hitting.
It's a fantasy world.
I like that everybody in this call, by the way, wearing glasses.
Oh my god.
Almost everyone in the cast wears glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Fucking nerds.
Whoa, you coming at me, bro?
Speaking of nerds,
Oh god.
I have Mandy.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
You're right, Mandy's a nerd.
Whoa.
I was just trying to segue.
Oh, I love.
I love that.
I like the eye patch.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's a real governor vibe.
I love the
The
kitty
cat
necklace, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
She specified. She was like, "Can I have a cat necklace?" Because I like cats.
Yes, you may, man.
Please do.
And then last in the second batch, I have Jamie.
Second batch of first drafts.
Yes. Round 2.
Well, that speaks volumes. Everyone just.
I think our heads tilted in opposite directions.
I think.
I think it's the chin that really.
It's a little square.
Yeah, and I
But,
think
yeah,
the
it's a-
lines being bolder makes it look a lot stronger than it probably
Yeah.
needs to be.
Yeah.
I think the hair looks really good. That looks like Jamie's hair to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she kind
Yeah.
of cascades and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good start. Like it's the
Yeah.
first draft. Like
Yeah,
It's such
this is another one where I see it and I'm like, okay, I can see how like that
I
looks
can see
like
the
Jamie.
building blocks of Jamie's face.
Yeah.
It's just they're
Exactly.
very blocky at the moment.
Like
I
she's
think
got a
the
very
nose is off
neutral
on this
smile. Like she looks
Yeah.
like the meh emoji.
Yeah, it's a bit of a neutral face, and I think the nose might be off a little bit in the chin, but
I
otherwise,
was gonna say the nose.
you know,
too,
I like the rest of it.
I could see it
so.
in the eyes.
Yeah,
She's on the right
yeah.
track with the nose because Jamie has like a Roman nose, but it like has like a bump, not
Yeah.
it's not completely round.
What's a Roman
It looks
nose?
wider.
It's when it has a bump.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, why'd you say it's a Roman nose, but it has a bump?
I said it wrong. Said she
Yeah.
has a. I meant she has a Roman
in
nose,
that
so
it
there's
has
a bump.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Whereas this one's just a round, which I get where she got round from because of the bump.
Got it. Okay, I'm
Anyway.
caught up now.
Um,
Now I learned
okay.
a new thing. Here we go.
So the second draft of
Okay.
the first group, I have for you, James.
James already looked really good. I remember.
Yeah, she didn't change much, but he looks good.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I like it.
I am going to ask for a version with a transparent background, but I kind of like the background, so
Was it? Oh no, he said take the hood down. The only other thing I could say is I think his beard is a little bit more red than that.
Yeah.
Knowing him
redden
in
up
person.
his beard a little bit.
Yeah, redden
Okay.
up his beard. I'm not. Is the rest of his hair redder too, or is it just the beard? Like, does he have the Jason thing going on?
He's got a little bit of that going on. I would the only thing I would say is like his hair's a little poofy in the back, so it looks a little Nick Cagey, a little mullety.
Oh no!
Mm,
But that's it. Like everything else
Yeah.
is pretty. Like if you
the bird.
de-poofed it a little bit, I think I would look really good.
Yeah.
yeah,
like
just
spot on.
shape it a little bit more to the back of his
Yeah,
head.
like he needs to go to the bar.
Yeah, but yeah,
And
I think it
also,
looks
like-
good though.
It could be my memory, but like I remember James as having like a really like tall face.
I mean, that's a tall like.
Or maybe that's just okay. Never mind.
I think the hair is actually changing the shape of his face a little bit.
A little
'cause
bit.
it's
Yeah, I
so
think if they-
round in the back.
Yeah, I think if they de-poof in the back of the head, I think his face would look longer, like you said. Because you're right, he does have a tall face.
Yeah.
And if you cover the back of his head, it looks very tall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you do that.
So let's look at Ryan.
This is weird because it's real people, and we know them very intimately. So we
Yeah.
have so many more notes than
Yeah.
like our
Yeah.
love comes back, and it's like, yeah, that looks cool. Like,
Yeah,
that's-
okay.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for Saba for getting saddled with the
Yeah, for somebody who's never met any of us to have to
Yeah.
do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Ryan one's
the Ryan one
creepy.
looks.
Yeah.
Because the eyes and the eyebrows are so spot on, but it looks like it's been stuck on an N64 character.
Yes.
Because his head's kind of square, so it's like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that. There's like some flat surfaces on
it's
this
like
head, yeah.
it's like Ryan stars in Goldeneye. Like it's just
Yes.
It does look a lot like him
Now
though.
is that the style, or is it just because this is like a draft, so things are still like?
I'm starting to think it might be a little bit of a style thing because if you
Yeah.
look actually at the shape of James's head too, it does have some of those flat surfaces
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
So-
feel like that line, the line right above the
Right about his
right
eye.
eye,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
a
one that
very
makes
flat
it look
line.
square. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And James has that same line, but it's kind of like rounder, so it doesn't make him look as square.
Huh.
Yeah.
But at first I thought that was a scar, honestly, and I was like, have I not noticed that Ryan has a huge scar across his head?
Big brutal scar on his head.
Stupid. Ryan's the boy who lived.
Oh, okay.
You
I
know
like
what's
the addition of the glasses though. It actually, despite what we were saying about like he's a hand-to-hand fighter, he probably would be wearing them, but it actually, because Ryan's character design is so simple, it kind of gives it a little bit, just
Yeah.
one more thing, you
He
know?
did say
Right.
that, like, I don't have anything interesting to throw on it, and I was like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
honestly
Look at
the
James's description. He said blue shirt.
He
at
did,
me.
yes. blue shirt and hat. It's like, well, okay.
I mean, you're accommodating if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, that gives us a
Yeah,
lot.
but then when pressed with, well, what kind of hat though? He said, I don't know, maybe a hood.
yeah,
Yeah. Which, by the way, really fucked us over on another thing, but we'll talk about that some other
yeah,
time.
that's fine. It's all good. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So let's
Those look
do, I
great.
guess we'll do me.
Ooh.
I can't wait.
Ooh.
Oh, I got a lot of notes on this one already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
already.
Why is he so attractive? Like,
Yeah. I want to
that's
kiss
not
him.
accurate.
Yeah, make him less attractive. That's not.
I thought you had a can of Pepto Bismol, by the way.
Oh
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Shit.
Fuck.
That's some fantasy novel shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's some
I was like,
Fabio
make me
shit.
shirtless. That'll be rad.
Yeah.
And I don't regret that at all.
Are they still gonna do the blue woad stripes?
Yeah, she took it off. I'm not sure why. So my first note is to re-add that.
Maybe it was
And
to
really
make sure
my
the
only
face
note.
is right before adding
Right
a layer.
before obscuring it with that.
Yeah,
Are you gonna give this to your wife?
I'm gonna get this tattooed on my wife so she does
Oh
not
my
forget.
gosh.
Jason Alcuin stars in Tainted Desire.
It's the way the
What's
hair
the necklace
flows.
thing?
It's called a torque. It's like a Celtic like warrior thing.
All right.
So I figured that plus the face paint, it would go kind of a different direction than like a Conan the Barbarian type.
Right, yeah.
Instead of fantasy novel or erotica novel right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I might even see if to get her to add like a little bit more of it in like body paint or something too, just to have
I
it
thought
be
you were
not
gonna
so
say
like
chest hair.
I'm clearly naked from the neck down. Which, to be fair,
Yeah, you
Celtic
you're
warriors did.
looking at the
But-
viewer like, yeah, my penis is down there.
Okay. Eyes up here. Eyes up here.
I'm not a piece of meat.
But, you know,
Give me-
I also look like I'm kind of okay with it.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, like,
Like, you're
hey,
not
if
upset
we're
about
doing
it.
this, like, could we get a speech bubble that says "milady"? Like, it's just
Yeah.
not,
No.
you know what I mean? Like, it's just not like a fedora tipping way. Just like it's more of a like as you wish type of thing. Like it's fantasy.
No, just go sup.
So,
Sup.
So,
That's
it
perfect.
looks like a mid-head nod.
Yeah.
Yes.
And last but not least, here is Xavier. Do, do, do. Boop.
Oh,
oh, that's again. The eyes are so creepily like.
So just done with your shit. Oh,
He added the
man.
grass, and I think I was like, hell yes, that grass
That
in the mouth.
yes,
That's perfect.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's good.
yeah, that one like really looks like Xavier.
It really does. Yeah.
That's some weeb shit, Xavier. That's what.
Yeah.
Love it. It's perfect.
That was when
So-
Jason did 2 on the nose because like Xavier got super excited about being a weeb and
Yep.
just like.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I'm gonna be an extra from Samurai Champloo. That's what I'm gonna do. Like,
And now he looks like one.
yep.
It's perfect.
So initially, my thought was, okay, well, I want to see if I can get a version without the backgrounds. But one, as a set, I kind of like how she's designing the backgrounds,
Yeah.
and
They're neat,
also
they're neat.
she's casting some of the light from the color of the backgrounds on each of the figures. So I don't know if they would look weird
Oh yeah.
without the background. You know, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
blue, the green, they're kind of reflecting on the figures a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Right.
Son of a bitch.
So I feel like it might look weird to ask for them without backgrounds. I'm personally pretty happy with having them there. I don't know what you guys feel.
I'll wait till I
The
see
only-
mine. That's
Okay.
The
so-
only thing I'm thinking of is from like a layout perspective.
Me
like
too.
if I don't know how who's doing a Saba?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna like frame it, because if it's just like these rectangles like this, it might with the background
Yeah,
like that,
we'd
it might
have
like
to add a
look kind of
frame.
funny. Like you just like copy pasted this picture like into the book.
And then also, if they're the only NPCs with backgrounds, it'll make it look like they're more important NPCs, or like, and they are removed from the rest of the NPCs in the fact that they're
Yeah.
us. So
And
they'll probably
I
get
feel
their own
like
page.
even having the backgrounds present might be what differentiates it. I also thought if we can even remove the white portion of each background so that there's like the green shape behind the Xavier, but the rest that white part is transparent, that like it gives it a shape
That-
without it being rectangular, you know?
honestly, we
Right.
could do the same thing we did for like the previous stuff, where we have a version where it's transparent and a version where we have the background. So
Yeah, might
if
as well have
in the
a version
later
of both.
stages, like well, let's say we have to start cramming things on pages a little bit,
Yeah.
we'll have options.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even I might even just ask to see one without the background, and we'll see if it looks weird or not, you know,
Right.
because of the way the light casts, and we'll go
Because I
from
do
there.
like
But,
the way the light casts. I think
It's
that
neat.
looks cool.
I think it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. well, because so far everybody's just wearing a lot of black, so I think it's just an attempt to
Yeah,
get a
black
lot of
and
color in
purple.
there.
All
Really,
you
yeah.
fucking guys, by the way, black and purple, everyone.
I was
Look at
surprised
my
by the amount of
closet. I
purple.
can't help it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I was telling the truth.
I'm not. Look,
Valid.
likes cool
Black
colors.
and gray right now. This is my usual
I
uniform.
know. We're introverted nerds. I'm just saying. Like,
We heard once that in medieval fairs, purple is royal, so we all decided. But yeah, no.
But no, so I think obviously there's a lot of notes to be done on the first draft, but that's exactly how it was on the first draft for this batch here. So I think that one round of notes gets us pretty close for most of these guys.
yeah.
And then
the second round of notes is like really minimal.
Yeah.
It's
We'll
like-
see what everybody says. Like
yeah.
I might send it to Ryan and get like a book back. I don't think so
Right.
though, you know.
Yeah.
But I
No,
feel
that
pretty
guy's
good.
real picky.
He is.
But yeah, I feel pretty good about Saba's ability to incorporate notes into these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's quick. I mean, she's been on this for 2 weeks and she has 9 of 18 going.
I think some of the hardest stuff is eyes, like really making it
Yeah.
look like a person you know when it's not a fantasy character, and she's nailing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
hard.
So I'm pretty happy with it so far. I'm excited to see more. But that was the big one I got yesterday. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
lots of art.
Fuck yeah.
Because she had gone dark for like 12 days, and I was like, oh, please.
And then
Like
it
after I
paid
sent
off,
her
and it's
notes,
like,
I
oh,
never
no.
really heard back. Yeah.
Let me check something. I don't think I have got them yet, but Adam's going to be sending us 2 damn near finals for... No, not yet. 2 damn near finals for the busts, which was Clara and Malchus.
Yeah.
And then 2 roughs for
Nathaniel and the Countess.
Nathaniel and the Countess. That's what it was. It's like, wait, who's got what now?
Yeah.
Okay. I did get the art to. Let's just go down the rest of the list of the artists here.
Yeah.
I did get
Sure.
the assignments to Xavier. I did get the assignments to Kat. So they're working now. I haven't yet, and I feel terrible. I haven't yet had a chance to send Ashley the assignments ever since I asked you about identifying those 10 pieces.
Yeah, and she hit me up. She hit me up to make sure. It's like, did I sign the contract wrong? Is everything okay? It's like, no, we're fine. There's just
Yeah.
there's 16 of you. It's just
Yeah.
taking. It's yeah.
That's what I told Kat, because Kat was like every few days being like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was like, "Listen, like we're there's a lot happening right now." I was like, basically, I was like, I'm learning how to juggle 16 people to make sure everybody's working on something.
And a full-time
And-
job and a family.
Yeah, and all the rest of it, you know. But I was like, so generally, my communication is a lot quicker than this. Generally, you're going to hear from me before you're ready to.
Yeah.
But she was like, yeah, that's no problem. I just had a client bail at this stage recently.
Oh.
Like, I totally get
That's
that.
Yeah,
but
we're not going anywhere.
no, this work needs to get done.
Yeah.
So,
That's a lot of my conversations, though, recently have started with, look, listen.
I did forward you guys another draft of Ebony Harbor from Andrew. Did you get a chance to look
Yes. Hold
I
up.
didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't. Wait, yes, I did.
I was about
Just
to say
kidding.
it was.
I did. It was a few days ago. It
at it? Yeah,
looks really
it had
good.
kind of like storm clouds in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold
Yeah.
on. Let me look at this again so that it can be fresh in my memory.
I can pull it up for so Susan and Val can see it in the Discord.
Okay, I just put in the Discord the 2 reference pictures. That
Oh,
should
good.
be good, right? Like, is
Uh,
that, or should I like find another?
No, that should be fine. I mean, worst case, she's like, send me one more, you know. So
Okay.
that's fine. I will take these, and my wife will ask me why I have pictures of Val on my desktop.
Hey, everyone on Kickstarter, look at how much is in Jason's inbox.
Mhm.
Look at that. 4,685 unread messages.
Look, man.
No,
I
Yes.
respond to.
No,
look.
no.
Yes.
It's-
Beat. Hey, listen. Beat 15,765.
no.
Look.
I have anxiety from hearing that.
Right?
Look, it's the show email, guys. We get a lot of emails. And here's the thing.
Like,
they're
how much
all
you've
the-
upset Susan.
Look, all of the emails to listeners or from listeners I get back to. We get, especially since the Kickstarter, you have no idea how many people are hitting
Not
us up.
since the
Yeah, I know,
Kickstarter.
I know.
Fuck off.
It's okay. I would
It's
say
gotten better since the Kickstarter because you went through it at one point. It was like 10,000 something.
I'm talking
before
about the
that.
emails we get from like Bangladesh and India and
Yeah,
fucking
okay,
like
fair.
it's
We got
a
of
lot.
those.
Also, fuck you guys. Like I feel so attacked, man. I was
Fucking
just
judging me.
Yeah.
No,
I sit
you
and
made my
stare at my
heart beat.
inbox, waiting for
Right.
him.
Same. You made my heart raise from 60 to 86 in just that minute.
The Jason Massey email is much more empty. No one hits that guy up, so this is just.
Anyway,
Ooh,
Ebony
look at
Harbor looks
that.
nice.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Ebony
It's
Harbor
really
looks good. He's
good.
real good at clouds. Anything with clouds, let's get Andrew on. Any skies.
Yeah.
Big skies.
And this is like a draft clouds,
Yeah.
you know, and they already look like, damn, those look pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said in his email that he was going for like New England stormy skies type thing, but he was like, it's too gray. Beautiful blue skies again.
Yep, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine with
Trust me,
that. It
there will
looks
be
good.
plenty of opportunities for gray skies somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Ebony Harbor is a pretty pleasant town. I'm
Yeah.
fine with blue skies. So there's that. Let me. Yeah, it does look a little weird.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was fast.
Well, she might
Susan.
change the green light to a
It was
different
only
color.
it was only 3 colors. It was easy to get rid of.
Well, still, good work.
That's,
Yeah,
I feel like she already has the layers, so she would be able to like make that edit really quick and make that into a different color light.
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like that would involve a little bit of repainting on each one.
Yeah.
But I'll bounce the idea off her and see
Let's
kind
see.
of what
But I mean,
sounds
it's
she
good to
makes.
have-
It's possible if we take off the background and we do have her redo the lighting to like something more neutral, that it's like, oh, let's just go with this then, like, and just not have the colored lighting at all.
Yeah, I'd kind of want to see it with like, hey, if you drop the background off of one, maybe drop the reflected light as well, and see it with the transparent background and see if we like that.
And let's just see, yeah.
I look at it like it's good to have transparent backgrounds for all of the art. I mean, with the exception of like the cover and shit like that, like those don't need it. But like anything where we're gonna have stat blocks and paragraphs and stuff next to them,
Yeah.
it might be good to.
Yeah.
So
'cause-
Jasper can utilize it
Yeah.
to the fullest.
Because again,
Yeah.
400's the cap for page count, and I don't know how close we're gonna get to that.
420.
420? Blaze it?
Blaze it.
Oh no.
I
We,
believe
we
it was
It's
raised
400.
it.
No,
was
it's 400.
Okay, never mind.
I was gonna say, did you raise it behind my back?
I gotta check the budget. That,
No, it's
everything's
400.
written down.
Yeah, it's absolutely 400 because 324 was the cap originally.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that was adorable when we thought it would be less.
Cute week and a half.
You know. Okay, so Andrew's working on stuff. Arthur's still waiting for colors. As soon as Avalan's done, Arthur will have something to do.
Sweet.
I checked in with Brian on the disease art. He just finished moving, but he is communicating with me, and he said he's doing some really rough layouts, but it's nothing he wants to show us yet.
That's
He's just
fair.
playing with the idea, so that's fine. Carlos, we saw. Daniel, I sent him back your notes. I haven't heard back since. So
Okay.
I had a thought about Daniel. Since he's reached out to you guys directly a couple times, do you want to just work directly with him on the maps? I feel like a lot of the problems with the Winter Haven map was me.
I mean, it was okay. There was one problem.
Yeah.
I know, but like where there's so many specific notes needed for the maps, and you guys kind of know him a little better now. I just wanted to see if that was something you'd want to do.
Dude, I'm
Totally
fine
with
with
you.
it. That would just be him and Adam that we're dealing with, and that'll leave you with the 14 others. So like, that's fine. Yeah. No, I mean, here's the thing: the fact that Daniel is listening to the show, Susan and Val, Daniel, the guy who's doing our maps, sent us this lovely email that was essentially like, oh man, I this was just another job when Jameson brought me on, and then I started listening to the show just to like get some references for stuff, and he blew through all of Arc 2 and listened to the finale, and he's going back to Arc 1, and he sent us this. Hold on a second, because it's so damn cool. So hold on.
Wait, do you want to show that off right now to the people on?
I'll share. Here's the thing. Everybody out there in Kickstarter, you can't see this yet. It's going to be in the book, but I'm going to show this to
There it is.
everybody in the call.
Oh wait, this is perfect to talk about this. Wait, when was this sent to you?
I don't know, like a week ago.
Jason, this is our chance.
It's a
Like,
chance.
Yeah, to change the wording to do the spellings of all the places.
Yeah. Okay. We could bring that up. Daniel would be fine with it. It's just like it's a little late for
he takes
revisions.
notes like a champ. Yeah.
But like
Oh.
it's keeping Val up at night, so we could talk
Wait,
about.
what's going on? What's wrong?
There are punctuations for a couple of the places, like apostrophes, and not for others.
Didn't we decide like that was fine? Like the ones that we decided on?
I don't. Yeah.
Did we? Like,
I
let
don't
me
think
see.
you were a part of it at that point, but like we talked about the apostrophes, and it was kind of a thing where Jason basically said like, I don't mind, we'll just change the spelling, like to whatever's on the map. You basically said, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. I Val hit me up with a bunch of stuff, so like we can throw that in the Discord if you want and talk about it.
Yeah.
And if it's a thing where it's like, yeah, okay, we'll just. I don't think he would mind, but I really don't want to like. I don't want him to think that months down the line we're going to hit him up with revisions for stuff he's done.
Right. And like I don't really mind however way it is. I just want to make sure that it's the same everywhere. In
Exactly.
every
Right.
picture,
Yeah.
everywhere in the book, like
And that's exactly what
That's
I
my
said, where I'm like,
biggest
well, then
thing.
this is the final spelling, basically.
Yes.
It's like, we can't change it, we can't do it differently. There's somewhere, like, sometimes, like, you can drop the word, or, like, not capitalize the word the, or just drop the word the from, like, a few of the, like, forests,
Yeah.
where you can call it the Deadwood, or you can call it Deadwood. But, like,
You can't call it Deadwood because that's an HBO show.
oh, no.
No, Overwatch is one of the ones I've asked about a bunch. It's like, is it the Overwatch or is it Overwatch?
Yeah.
And it kind of
Stuff
depends
like
on
that.
how you're talking about it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
You know, because if you're talking about like the Overwatch regime, that is the Overwatch. If you're talking about like
The
back in the
city.
Overwatch days, like it's
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, so I feel like there's
I wouldn't sweat
room
it too
there.
much.
Yeah.
But
Oh man, I wonder
we
if
can
that's going
also
to be a
sweat it
problem.
later. Oh, Overwatch?
Yeah.
We've worried about that on and off since the start.
I think we're fine.
I think we're fine because that's past tense, so it's in the book even less. Like, they'd have to go into the book, read the history of Overwatch,
Yeah.
or Overdale, to figure out that it was once called Overwatch a while ago.
I'll duke it out with Blizzard. We've been using that since 2012.
And I'll explain to them why their lore is ridiculous.
I don't think they care.
I think they
they'll-
know.
They'll explain to you from their throne of money.
I mean, not to get into it, but you don't add a giant hamster in a ball and not know it's ridiculous.
Oh, that was the day that broke Bree.
I
You should
know,
have
I
been in
remember
this
the rant
office.
from Discord.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't the day that broke Bree, it was the month and a half that broke Bree. I would just bring it up at random, like, I don't know, there's a fucking hamster in it now, so what the fuck ever? Like, you had to ruin Australia. You had such a cool idea for what happened to Australia, and you ruined it.
He's fun to play, though.
Fine. He still has all his. I have almost everything for him unlocked, and he's his base everything. And he's his automatic, like,
Sit there in
regular
the spike
skin.
corner.
Just a spite. He doesn't have any voice lines equipped, and I never will.
That's
Ever.
Reaper for me. I fucking hate Reaper. Anyway.
That's fair.
Uh,
Jason just got American Reaper today, and he got really excited and equipped it.
I don't know. Anything new. I don't care about that game. I need to stop playing it. Okay.
Yeah, me either. I don't care.
I found out that I'm level 1235 and I almost cried. So like I really need an intervention.
I'm
and if
level
you
1,013 or 18 or 20.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm over
I haven't played
1,000
that game
now.
in 3 months.
yeah, good for you. You're
Good.
better than us.
Yeah.
No, I'm just too busy. My kid plays it still sometimes. But
Okay.
anyway, so
Okay.
who else we got to talk about?
Well, we still
Daniel,
got the Trello.
Crowbar doesn't have anything yet. Rock is we've talked about Rock. Roman, when I hit him up, he was like, "Hey, hit me back in 2 weeks because I'm finishing up some stuff, and 2 weeks is tomorrow, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna hit him up tomorrow." Sierra, if you guys want to identify a couple more logos for Sierra to start on,
Okay.
she still has to do the White Ravens. No, not the White Ravens. The
Overwatch.
Overdale revision.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
we're waiting for the art for that.
we're waiting for art. Yeah. So if we can give her something else to work on in the meantime,
Sure. Okay.
anything you want to identify for that. Xavier's working. Ashley, I need to send stuff to tonight. Brandon is on standby. Saba's busy. Kat's got stuff to work on. That's all the artists. So
Fucking sweet.
Sweet.
yeah, that's everybody.
Oh.
So
Not to
Yeah.
derail anything. Did you guys get a chance to look at Oh man, it's Art DeepMind on DeviantArt now, but his real name is La Restrest.
I did not get a chance to look at
La
that.
Rehearse?
I've never been good at his name, and I'm so sorry.
This recorded forever.
I know he's
You could
Yugoslavian,
see
I
this.
believe. It's tough. I'm an ignorant American.
What did he do for you guys previously?
So during the last Kickstarter, we did covers for modules, and if you look at the art that's posted on the DNR website right now, halfway through, the one of Drake Island, the one of he's been keeping at it for years.
Yeah.
He does lots of fantasy stuff, and I guess ours was one of his first paying gigs. So
Okay.
it was just something I kind of was like, oh yeah, I forgot about, So if
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely good.
yeah.
This is the first I've had a chance to look at him, but
And again, I don't know what's going to be going on
Yeah.
with
Mhm.
module stuff, but I know we haven't earmarked anybody for that yet. So
I remember when we worked with him, he worked very well. That's what I said. It's like
Yeah.
I remember he was fast to get back to us and
yeah,
receptive to
yeah,
feedback.
I mean, my thought is let's fold him into the regular team because the sooner we knock out the main art book stuff, we can start talking about art for the module and just sick that entire team on it. Just snowball through.
yeah.
Depending on what the art needs are, we can pick people. But yeah, I mean, if you guys are in touch with him and he wants to get involved and we can afford him, sure, I don't care.
Okay.
He's good. He's good, and if you say he's easy to work with, that's literally all I need.
I know. We need reliable people who will do tasks for money. That's basically that made him sound like hookers. That's not what we want.
I mean,
I mean, being an artist for hire is a lot like being a hooker. If we're being honest.
right off the bat, I was thinking like, oh, his style doesn't really fit anything that we're doing, but that's not true. We could maybe get him to double up landscapes if we feel like maybe we want a second person on that, just because he does the painterly style that's the same one as what's already being done.
There's definitely a couple of shots in there that would be great for covers if we're doing a cover for like module or at least for the book or something.
Yeah.
There's definitely shots in there that are kind of
And we do have money for a cover, and then we have a small amount of money allotted to things like items.
So like
and
$100 each, right, for the module?
Yes.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
currently,
okay.
that might change over time, but right
And it
now we're
depends.
$100 each.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if he's interested and we can afford him, then we can absolutely find work for him. I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I'll let him know.
cool.
All right.
So I had this thought earlier, and I don't know if it's time for us to get into it yet. If we want to wait until later, then absolutely. But I had the thought that we haven't really talked at all about any of the fiction for the book.
Okay. We're talking like
the Bree story.
okay, like the Siege of Winterhaven story. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know when a good time to start talking about that is. I don't feel like it needs to be now, but I wanted to bring it up just to make sure we're not forgetting about it.
Well, okay. Let's say time and room weren't factors.
Mm-hmm.
How many of these would we like to try and squeeze in the book?
I
thinking
feel like
3 or 4.
I was thinking closer to 6.
Okay.
I don't think that's not doable. I think that if space became a huge issue, we could afford to cut 1 or 2 of those, which would be a little bit of a bummer, but they could always go in the art book if we had to cut them.
Okay.
I also had the thought, and this is just a thought, I know that we're recording this, but it might be fun to do a fiction contest for listeners.
Okay, that is a dangerous.
Here's the thing. I don't want smut. I want action.
No, I mean like putting all the
Yeah, I know.
the
It
goat
was just,
stuff
it
aside.
was just a thought. But I
Right.
thought that if it surfaces one usable story, that might be really cool to include. Just
Well-
as a thought.
Yeah, from my end, it's not lack of stories; it's
Lack of time.
time to do
Yeah.
it. And okay, long ago when this book started out as a novel,
Hmm.
there are beginnings or outlines of stories that we could certainly draw upon. It's just like the Siege of Winterhaven stuff.
Hmm.
I just haven't had time to finish them or polish them.
And that's the
Right.
problem. We've talked before about doing fiction for Therian. Some of the main problems are Therian history is Therian history. It's not something that can be kind of messed with. Like, well, creatively, I added this new character. New characters don't exist. Everything that happened in theory already happened, which means Jason needs to, at the very least, take the time to convey everything that happened over to a third source, who then can write it out.
I mean, I also don't know that every one of those stories needs to be a fictionalization of a world-bending event.
Right.
Like it can be like you can do a story in Brightport of some dude who went to get bread one time, and if it's a good enough story, like, it fits. I don't see a problem with that.
Right.
You know, some nobody or whatever. That's just a thought. In fact, I think it would be a good idea to have a combination, no matter who writes them, of the big stuff like the Bree Siege of Winterhaven story, and
not
little
all
small daily life and little funny stories and you know, and stuff like that.
Right.
Plus, it's cool to get like a little bit of where the lore should all have a consistent voice in the way that it reads. I like the idea of having different voices in the fiction. That's just my thought.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah.
If that's something we were going to do, it's something we'd have to organize, and we'd have to get the word out on it, and it would have to be something where we would have to have the time to sit and pore over these stories.
Yeah. Which, I mean, this is why we don't do this now. If we do it at all, we don't do it now. We probably don't do it until a few months down the road. It might not be feasible. Just an idea that I thought I'd throw out there, but you know.
Do me a favor. Before and anyone listen to this, don't you write a goddamn thing. So let me look at what I have and see what might be usable, firstly. And then 2, let me maybe scroll through a list, like a Rolodex of ideas of like, well, okay, if we're doing 5 or 6 of these, or 6 or 7 of these, whatever. So like, let's say we're doing that. Let's see what might be interesting to put in the book.
Right.
And then come back to this, like circle back around.
Yeah. And I think it is overall early to be talking about fiction anyway, just because we don't know how much room we have. We don't have a great
That's
idea.
thing where it's like, obvious. Like, I'm the first person to be like, I'm not that worried about space because I think that Jasper's really talented and he's going to be able to fit everything into the book as long as we're not unreasonable about it. Like, if we come to him with like, hey, regularly this would be 430 page of material, I think he could fit that in a 400-page book just by messing with the typefaces and things like that. But based on how long the Brianna story was, which that was like 12, 13 pages of the preview.
Somewhere in there.
And obviously don't all have to be that long, and we can mess with the sides because that was something Jasper
the poor
was
guy. Yeah,
with.
the columns.
The columns.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that maybe tabling it for now, maybe after Dragon Con we can circle back around to that idea.
I think that's appropriate. I think that having most of the lore written would be a good time to start talking about fiction, but I just want to keep us thinking about it in the meantime, you know?
And you're right. I don't want that to be the only story in the book because that's just weird.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, we should at least have, I think, at least 3 or 4 at the bare minimum.
3 or 4. I agree.
Yeah.
And it would be, like, we have a lot of things to work with from the show. I'm just not sure how, like, obviously, space, we're going in circles on the problems with the thing that
I think we all agree.
after Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we all agree. We can come back to this later, but I just wanted to bring it up so that to keep it kind of off of the cutting room floor, you know?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's rip through some stuff. You guys did some stat block work. Do we need to discuss any of that?
Okay. This is my time to shine. Okay.
Yay.
So, Susan and I both went through all of the ones that are in the proofing column. The notes that I have are that we're missing info from Clara, the Grimness Grace twins, and Tatiana. Clara, that's Jason's fault. She's missing AC, HP, and speed, which are like really easy things, especially because she's a
wow, Jason, you fucked up a
Archie.
really easy thing.
It's an easy fix. Like all you just have to do is look at it and type those in. The twins are missing a height. And Tatiana is missing both age and height. I talked to Jamie to confirm her last name, and she got back to me on that, and then I was like, cool. Also, do you happen to know her age and height? And then she never got back to me.
That's a lot of these I'm waiting on is age and height, because
Yeah.
it's very specific numbers that I'm waiting. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta hit James up again.
Hey, I'm not
Yeah.
super invested in the Grimness Graces' height, so you
They're-
just throw
they're-
that up. It's child size.
They're 2.5. Like, they're, yeah.
Yeah, Bitty.
Little.
Small.
And because there was a few Elrath, Masoka, and Ubo that didn't have information in it, but I cross-checked it with their character description, and that had their age and height. So I was
Nice.
able to move those over and put that in.
Hell yeah.
Because I want to be able to use as much as the player's information as possible when it comes to things with their characters.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I see known affiliations. I think you want that to be in alphabetical order. Does that make more sense?
Oh, well, Susan and I were talking about it. My original thinking is we have the beginning in alphabetical order, and then it end in whatever groups that they are, letters first, because if people only come in on arc 2, like the letter groups are what they're used to, and then the number groups are after that. I think, Susan, you had other ideas with that. Like, you wanted all chronological or something?
That was my thing, but it does make sense. It's just, for me, it throws me off every time I see it not in the right order. Like, what I know of the character, like, oh, this is where they started, but that's coming at it from a listener.
And that's, the way I did it was, what are they, the way I did it originally was like, okay, here's where they are now, and then like, oh, they also have affiliations down the line. Like, the more, like, okay, if they're yeah. So if they're coming from like House Dragonkeep, it's like, okay, so House Dragonkeep, and then, oh yeah, I also worked at the shop, and I was here, like, those
Like
are
a
the
resume.
affiliations. Huh?
Like a resume.
Like a resume,
You always
yeah.
put your most recent
Chronological.
affiliation first.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
that's how I've been doing it.
Yeah,
Right. And I get that. My biggest worry for that is that someone who doesn't know the show will look at that and be like, wow, why'd they put them in that random order?
Right.
Like, if it's the alphabetical and the groups at the end, there's a pattern, and people can see that pattern.
And
'Cause
that's
the thing
fine.
with if these people are coming and looking at this book and they've never listened to the show before, like, I think it's important to make sure that the book works for them as well.
Oh, totally.
That this can't be just like it's for listeners only, and it doesn't make sense, and you won't enjoy it if you don't know what we're talking about, you know?
That's fair.
I agree with Val, and I'm gonna add that it also is harder to mess up alphabetical order than chronological, let me remember the show order.
yeah.
Also, yeah, that's a good point.
Like, Jason's probably the best one to nail that.
And
But, like,
that wasn't something okay, that's not my hill to die on.
yeah, no.
Of the things we're changing, it's like, that's fine. That's cool.
Alright, so ABC order with the group at the end, you said?
Yeah, I was just thinking that, and there's another thing I need to say about that. I was thinking that just because that's almost more of a meta thing, calling it the group ABC 1, 2, 3, 4. The thing that I thought of while I was discussing this with Susan was, is there going to be a place in the book where we talk about who is in group 1, 2, 3, 4 ABC? Because if that's just in their affiliations,
Yeah.
I think that might be like, what is this? Why are they talking about this? Why do some people have this? Why do some people not? Like, it might be confusing for people if they don't know what the groups are. Like, should we have like a page before all the characters that it's like, here's what's the groups are in the show, and that could be used as a reference point for people.
Well, we do have the guilds and factions section that we could just throw them on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like player groups from the show, like a little one of those little inset boxes or something. Like, you might notice group A, group B, group
Right.
C, and
Because they are mentioned in each other's backstories, so it's good to have that up there. So, like, if Masoka is mentioned in Maddie's backstory, which I'm pretty sure he's not.
Nope.
Not in that one, but, or like in her story. Because I do go up into recent times, and Maddie's mentioned in Masoka's, so let's use that instead. So Maddie's mentioned in Masoka's backstory. They'll see Masoka as a part of group A, and then they'll see that Maddie is also a part of Group A, and they'll be able to make that connection. But that's a little bit disjointed. So it might be a good idea just to throw a little thing in the groups and factions section. Just
We could do that. Again,
show
we want non-listeners to be able to pick this up and just get that. So if they see references to something, it's like, who the fuck is Group A? Like, I think that would help. And that's a quick fix.
A little square up in the corner. The more you know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Easy.
And those groups should probably only include people who are being included in the book.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, no.
Because if it's like, oh, this person's in Group 1, it's like, but they're not in the book. Why
also,
are they...
there'd be like 15, 16 people in Group 1.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I'm actually wondering if mentioning Arc 1 groups is necessary at all. You know what I mean? Like, because it's incomplete?
Repeat that. You were robot-y for a second.
Oh, sorry. I'm wondering if it's necessary to include the Arc 1 groups at all. Because it's incomplete. I'm not sure. Because, like, then you have situations where, like, Elarath, Group 4, and Group C, and stuff like that, which isn't that bad, but then, you know, the Draconis.
I'd argue against that only because, like, the fact that Amvin knows Malchus from Group 1 and he's on Group A does matter in his story. Because he has connections to Winterhaven and things like that.
I went back and forth on that too, and I put it down in affiliation. Like, Elarath is a prime example where it's like, Group C and Group 4. So it's like, so, you know, that's where she got to know Avalan, and then moving forward, like, it's a minor thing.
Again, not a hill I'm going to die on, but that was just a thought. So,
I get where you're coming from of simplifying it, but... Yeah.
And there's also characters that are in the book that were only in Group 1 and don't have an Arc 2 affiliation.
Yeah.
That were only in Arc 1.
Like Theo.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
These are all the little things none of us thought we'd have to address until we have to address them. It's like, oh, I guess.
And then we all have to go, well, here's my argument, even though I don't give a fuck.
Right, exactly, because we're all opinionated. Have we thought of a typeface for this? It's like, I don't know.
And none of us care, but we have to decide. It's like what Valerie said, it has to be considered.
But if it's Times New Roman, I'll kill myself, so just know that.
Well, okay, I was trying to find my notes because I did write some, and I just want to let you guys know what's in my notebook. Things that 90s falsely taught me.
Wow.
Well, there's a lot of that.
People interrupted weddings, or people backed out of weddings like all the freaking time.
Yeah.
Or food fights were a thing.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. Quicksand was a problem.
I'm sorry. We're having a meeting.
Serious meeting that's being recorded for the people who paid us money to be doing the thing we're doing.
I do like that you write stuff like that down in your notebook, though.
Yeah,
don't forget.
I can't forget.
It's very important. By the way, thank you for including centimeters next to height, because that's the one place where... Because I was just doing stat blocks as, like, everything's communicated... Well, the height makes sense, but everything's communicated in feet for the book in terms of movement and space.
Right.
Yeah, and that was Susan. Susan came up with that.
And that's totally, if we're doing conversions for everything else, like how tall is a mountain, how much does this weigh, how much, then we might as well, like, for all of our not American friends.
So, really quickly, speaking of something that we're going to talk about for a while, we made a decision yesterday.
This sounds serious.
All right, so you know how when we did the regions, we decided we were going to start at the beginning of Arc 1, or Arc 2. Very first day of Arc 2. We were writing for Dawnhurst, and Jason really wants to write the Fang and the Countess and all of that, and he did a really good argument for that, which is that that's going to matter for Arc 3. And that's probably more what people want to play in instead of the demons.
Well, okay. The demons were a thing at the beginning of Arc 2.
Yes.
And here's my argument. This throws a bit of a monkey wrench into our proceedings. But between that and Odysseia...
Those are the two. And everything else is relatively unchanged in terms of, like, big structural things. These are the two cities where it's like, okay, we would be writing, proofreading, doing art for,
and then printing and sending out something absolutely obsolete. From the second we work on it right now, it's completely obsolete and not useful to people opening the book.
The thing that convinced me is we don't have to go back and rewrite all the other towns and cities because not very much has changed. The only two cities that went through huge changes are Dawnhurst and Odyssea. And we haven't written either of those yet.
There's one thing to keep in mind then if you do this. Consistency. So all the character stories have to be at that point in time.
And they already were.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the character stories are present, or at least present as of the writing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Then,
yeah, I put that in my notes. Like, I want to make sure that, like, if the character backstories are talking about Arc 2, that everybody is talking about Arc 2.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Arc 2 only did take up the course of a few months, though.
Exactly.
So there will be situations where it's loose enough that it could apply to the beginning of Arc 2 or the middle of it or something.
Yeah, these are the two cities where that mattered, and we had to like sit down and really talk about it.
And I don't want to be a dick. It was not, like I understand why the rule was in place originally, and I'm all for it. It's just these are the two where, like, okay, this book's not going to be printed for like another however many months.
And when we first reached Dawnhurst, the reason for the rule and all of that was like you were telling me about Dawnhurst, and I was like, well, this doesn't sound like a town or city anymore, and also this hasn't been on the show yet.
Yes, that was
so
over a year
ago.
ago.
To put that in the book.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
this is mostly a him and I thing because we're the ones who came up with this rule.
Yeah.
But
no, I'd wondered a little bit about that too, so I'm glad you guys talked about it. Yeah.
And we knew it was we knew it was a coming. Like when we were going, by the way, I have the notes for the rest of the book lore, for the rest of the region lore, I should say. So.
Okay.
I'm gonna start pounding that out. But Dawnhurst came up during that, and so did Odyssea, and then we decided, I'm tired from talking about this for the last 3 hours, so we didn't do Dawnhurst or Odyssea, but the rest is done.
Okay.
For notes.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, and we can bear that in mind going forward, that we're going to more reflect the beginning of Arc 3 than the beginning of Arc 2. I think that's fine, because by the time this thing's published, Arc 3 will be underway.
Well underway, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I understand we have to have cutoff.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we'll just be editing till the fucking end of time.
I'll be honest, I'm nervous about writing Odyssea. We might keep it vague, just because no one's going to be near Odyssea at the beginning of Arc 3. But that's something else we have to talk about. And again, that's why we were like, let's not do Odyssea right now.
Well, Bree was worried that, let's say you're new, and you've never approached the show before. Theria, on the whole, is a lower magic world. She was worried that if you pick it up and open the page to Odyssea, it'll sound nutso. Like, it'll sound like there are clones, and there's this,
I mean,
and
there's also a floating city, though.
That's
so
the same thing she said, yeah. It's like, look, man, there's orcs and dragons and shit. Like, there's...
Yeah. I feel
there
like
has to be one really weird city, so...
Right.
I think,
two then.
because if somebody does want to play a slightly higher magic game or something, you've got 2 cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
I also
I'm
was
not
worried
opposed
about
to it.
explaining all of the rules when a lot of people had questions about the rules that haven't been answered yet on the show. They're like, ooh, mysterious.
I mean, I explained a lot of the rules.
Yeah, you did. It's fair.
I mean, I do think that we haven't gotten toward writing this yet, because I think it should be one of the last things we write. But the foreword at the beginning of the book should have a big, like, hey, spoilers. If you read this, it's going to give away plot points
If you're
for the
reading,
show.
okay, yes, but like, okay, if I
That's
pick
like
up,
if I picked up the Buffy Wikipedia and was like, oh man, I don't want to
But
know
you got to
that
say it.
Yeah.
because
Giles
otherwise
dies in
people get
season
mad.
3.
it's I mean, that
doesn't happen.
That's fair, but like, yeah, man, like it's a setting book, like.
And like
No,
the
I
biggest
agree.
spoiler, the Grimness Father. I've already read that.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Isn't that baller?
Papa Grinman.
Did you read the last paragraph? Don't say what's in it, but did you read it?
Yes.
I haven't read it
Isn't
yet.
that
I need to
fucking
read it.
baller?
I'm excited.
I can't
Yeah.
wait.
I've been waiting a long time. But that's cool.
Yeah. I need to read it. I'm probably going to read it tonight.
This section's just a giant middle finger to the Kickstarter people.
Yeah,
Like,
sorry.
you got
It's
to
coming,
see
guys.
so much art. You got to see so much art just now that no one else gets to see.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's
Anyway,
true.
all right. So okay, I'm glad we're agreeing on that one. And you guys not caring about the Odyssea thing makes me feel a little bit better about the Odyssea thing.
No, I do feel like I had been thinking that we should probably make this more closely reflect Arc 3 than Arc 2.
Yeah.
And I think that makes perfect sense.
Again, when
it
we
does require
started,
a little bit of backfilling, but
a little
not that
bit.
much.
Like there's tweaks and stuff, but
Little
again, we're in
tweaks, yeah.
first draft of a lot of stuff where
I still have to go back and add trivia that's actually
Yeah.
in world for basically every town and city. So
Yeah.
like,
yeah, I
there's
mean,
a lot
this
to
is
do.
the time to make that decision, so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with it.
So
So-
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
The book is never going to
Uh,
be timeless, so it's
Yeah,
a
that's
fun
what the
one.
wiki's for. You know?
Right.
That's what the second book is for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guys, we still got 5 more continents to cover. Don't you worry.
and an Underdark.
And then the
second
the
continent.
Oh,
layer
man.
off. And
We
then-
could do a sea exploration one, a history book.
Oh, I can't wait to find out about mermaids.
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 Do you
You're
want to
a
do Trello
merman.
stuff?
Yeah, let's do Trello stuff.
Okay.
I'm just gonna rip through this because I think
Alright.
we've talked about a lot of this just kind of as we went.
Jason, I trust you. I
Or
need
do
to
we
pee
do?
so bad.
Sorry. Do we want to like finish everything up that
Take notes.
I'd like to say, and then
Oh,
we can
sure.
move on to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show?
yeah.
Just to because there's only like 2 or 3 more things.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
The first one is a lot of the stuff that was in the Kickstarter preview. There's a few things that we do need to edit, but they're all like ODT files. Like, I mean, even if it's just stat blocks for them, now we've added centimeters to height.
Yes, yeah.
And things to
Yeah.
speed. Like, even if it's just that, I think there was like one more thing that I was like, oh, that needs to be fixed.
Well, if they're ODT
But, you
files,
know-
if you open them up in Google Docs, it transfers it to a Google Doc.
Oh, it
file.
does not for me.
No? Okay, I can do it on this end if nothing else.
But also the thing is that all of those aren't in the Trello, and so I just want to make sure that they aren't forgotten about.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that will be something. If we can get Jasper in on the next one of these, maybe, or one of the next ones, that's probably something that we'll want to talk about with him because he's going to need to probably reformat almost everything from that preview doc anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, did
Um,
Valerie catch the Grimness Grace thing?
What?
Oh, Valis in the
It's just Valis
base.
Grimness?
He's just Valis Grimness.
Ah.
He's Valis Grimness Grace in the actual game.
That's fine. That's
Mm.
We
all
didn't catch that
Yeah.
because we had 2
Oh.
weeks to format the entire thing.
right.
Like 8
I
days.
figured out how to open it up in Google Docs, so
Oh,
you don't have to
perfect.
like search for them. But that's a thing that figure out the easiest way to if you want to put them in the Trello. Just like I just want to make sure that they're not forgotten about and that we do
Right.
revisit them and make any changes that we need to make.
And
Yeah,
there will not be
definitely,
forgotten
yeah.
about because I think right now let's focus on getting all the new stuff and then
Yeah.
we'll go back and like fine tune, like tighten all the screws
Yeah.
on
At
this stuff.
some
Well,
point, we're gonna have to print this whole book out, just the words, and Jason and I are gonna have to read it out loud to each other, the way that we did the arc recap.
Oh my
and we might
precious
die.
ink cartridges.
Hey, I allotted
Take the
$80
file
to
to
that.
Staples. Take the file to Staples.
That's smart too. We can get them to bind it.
Ooh, fun.
Put it in
Yeah.
a nice little
Get-
folder.
Ooh.
There you go.
Let's
For
ruin
Or if you
someone's
get
day.
it-
$12.
Or if you get
Ruin
it
their
done
day.
before Dragon Con, I can use my work printer.
Ooh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's a tight.
There's
that's a
something
tight
about
turnaround,
you
though.
saying like I can misuse my work printer with a glass of wine in
Yeah.
one hand, cackling. Like it's just something very.
You need to be holding it. Oh, jeez. You
No,
need to be
you just
holding
need
it
the wine
underneath.
in
It's
a
like
milk
I'll
jug.
just use my work printer.
Whoa. I like that you drink it out of a wine cup. Like when I was 12 and I drink cranberry juice and pretend I was a vampire. And by the way, I still do that. It wasn't when I was 12. I lied.
My sister got this for my wedding, and it's awesome. It is. I've dropped it like 6 times, and it hasn't broken.
Ooh.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's the best wine glass.
That's the opposite of all of our glasses.
No, I just bought new ones.
I'm talking the ones we got from Target. I was pouring juice into it and it shattered in my hand.
Yeah.
It rejected my juice.
No.
I once
They
went to
use-
stir my
I'd
strawberry
rather
milk and
die.
it shattered. And... Wait, that was
Yeah,
you. We
mine
got drunk. that
usually break so easily. Just washing them, I've broken 3.
day. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I just bought us new glasses and they're very sturdy.
you did. Thank you very much.
Because it was really bothering him that we didn't have matching glasses. Anyway.
Well, when they shatter in my goddamn hand, I think I have a right to complain.
Stop squeezing!
My entire office has recently just stepped away completely from disposable, like,
Oh yeah.
plates and cups and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Everything's, it's all real dishes now in my entire building, and which is great, and it's green, and I fully support it. But every now and then, in the quiet office setting, you'll hear something fucking shatter. And it's funny,
yeah.
because everybody like gophers. Like,
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
anyway, it just happened today, so I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Um,
Trello.
Trello.
So
All right.
yes,
Wait, and more things.
Oh my God.
Valerie. No, no.
I'm very thorough.
Why we're
I'm
paying
sorry.
her.
Okay.
You're fine.
No, do it. Don't apologize.
The regions map that like has all the different colors.
Mhm.
Is that going to be in the book?
God, no. It's
That's
hardly
for
a
us.
sin. Yeah.
Okay.
First of all,
I was
that's the
like-
old map. And then
Okay.
that was for us just to divide. It's like, where are the borders for the Morning Shore?
See,
Where
I
are
do
they?
think that we should have a small version of the map that denotes the borders,
I
though.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we should redo it, and I think we should have like either Daniel or even Jasper do it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
do
yeah.
like a quarter of a page even, but just like here's the continent broken into like the states essentially.
Right. Didn't Jasper
Yeah.
say something about redoing the little blocks we're doing for the zoom-ins on?
We did talk about that last time in
Yeah.
terms of
I
can we do it
expressed
in a
how
way
hard it
that is
was.
better shaped to the shapes of the regions without
Yeah.
looking
Because
weird.
it's very hard to like, oh, this is the region, but then Brightport's not a part of this region. Get out of here. Like that keeps happening.
What if we did? Okay, get ready because this is the oldest reference I'm ever gonna do. Get ready. Here we go.
Alright.
What if we
Ready.
did like the Bonanza thing, where like the edges of the map are just burned? You know what I'm talking about? My fucking
I'm
parents
very
were
close to that.
terrible, and they watched a lot of westerns, and that's all I know.
That's mean. My great grandmother watched westerns, and she was lovely.
My parents were terrible though.
She
So
was, she was like Val's size, but 1,000.
Just had
It was adorable. You should see her standing next to my grandfather, who was Jason's size, but heavier. Anyway, my great grandparents were sweet and lovely.
I didn't say anything bad about it.
Yes, you did.
Anywho,
Well, I get what you're
Jason.
going for. I like that idea.
I'm just that's an option. Like it's like,
Yeah.
oh, the edges of the map are kind of like so we could trim
Let me
out
see
what
if
we
that's
want
something I
and
can
have
do.
it
Yeah.
like visually
that's
decorative.
another one I'd want to run by Jasper just to see how
I might clash with his
labor-intensive
vision.
that is.
Yeah.
It might also not fit with the design of the book. I don't know because I don't know how to design shit.
Well, Jasper's a
But-
wizard, so like
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the design aspect because I think he could
He
like.
sneezed and made those banners.
Dude, we were in a call and he's like, "Yeah, here's a working concept anyway." And he took a bunch of ingredients and went, "Banner." It's like I watched him do it and I don't believe it.
God, why am I the one doing t-shirt design? You should be
I almost when you posted that in the Discord and you were like, I might play with the typeface. I almost was like, do you want Jasper to tag in? But I didn't want to say that because that feels rude because it both implies that Jasper has all the free time in the world and that you weren't doing a good enough job at the same time.
No, I mean literally I was doing it and talking to myself being like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
That's how I feel most of the time.
That's what I do when I'm video editing, where I'm like, I'm a fraud. Like I just.
I have one friend who wants me to do graphic design for him all the time, and I have to explain to him constantly that's a different skill set.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
completely different skill set than illustration. I cannot do it.
It's space management. It's
It's like the difference between fixing a computer and fixing a tablet.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't
it's
fix a
just,
tablet.
it's a completely different mindset. It's like just because I can play the trombone doesn't mean I can play a guitar. I just like
That's a better metaphor than the thing I said.
I mean, yours was
I
good.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
picking up what you were putting down.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
fine.
I'm smelling what you were stepping in.
Yeah.
I'm running where you're chasing me.
Val,
Keep this going.
I see on your face you're waiting for us to stop talking so you can bring up another thing.
But
Keep
only
going.
A little bit.
Don't apologize. Keep
just
going.
that if that were to happen, I'd like to look at it to make sure the spellings are good.
For which?
The map
region
when
map.
it's like broken
Yeah.
up and stuff,
Yeah,
like the
definitely, yeah.
Totally.
region titles.
That's
Well,
your
here's
job.
the thing.
Something you might
I'm
want to
putting
keep
you
in...
on all of the map proofreading because I missed every one of those fucking mistakes last time.
So, Valerie,
So.
something you might want to keep an eye on, and something that I did, I contracted us to do a thing later. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you
Okay.
about it now. In the transcribers section of the Discord, they're putting together a dictionary of all of our proper nouns. And I told them that when they were done, we'd just look at it.
Are you nuts?
What?
Do you know how long that's gonna take?
Well, they already started. Steve actually had one because he's Steve.
Okay.
So what we have to do is go through that, make sure all the spelling is right, make sure it matches the map, and then that can just be our official.
Okay. I was counting on the
Okay.
book being that. It's like, do you know how many proper nouns there are in our world?
Well, the thing is, we need to have that so that Valerie and Susan can double check all of the spelling.
Fine, yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
Actually,
we don't
I
have to
have
a book
ask
to
you
do that.
every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I started an Excel sheet with
Yeah.
names of things and like the correct spellings.
Totally fair.
Um,
Okay.
It'd be different if everything
But,
were named one time, but it's not.
Yeah, maybe we should just get Susan and Val involved with that group, at least in terms of access to that dictionary.
Yeah.
You know.
Might help.
I
Okay.
can give you guys a
I
tag
don't
on that
see why
Discord
not,
server.
yeah.
Yeah, Steve has been asking me for spellings for years, and I just
Yeah.
keep trickling him. It's like, yeah, it's this, this, and this.
And he's been keeping track.
That good for Steve. Steve is
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. I know
Thank
you're
you.
watching this.
might
Yeah.
be
Mm-hmm.
I
Hey,
know
Steve.
you're watching.
always watching.
Did you see Jameson shirtless earlier? Pretty hot, right?
Oh, we all saw
Let's do it
James.
again. Let's
Yeah.
do it again.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
what
one
else you got,
last
Val?
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
It's not bad.
This is for Jason and Bree, and so in the Trello, which is a great oh shit, what's it called? Segue. In the Trello, what I did for all of the things that were in the proofing thing was I made checklist items for them.
I saw. I was very proud.
Thank you. Where I did 2 each of me and Susan reviewing them, and then recently I added a revision one in the middle just to help you guys keep track of, okay, we looked over the changes. If you could check that, then Susan and I know to go back in and relook at it.
Hell
Got
yeah,
it.
that's smart.
And we can always add more because like what I'd like for it to be is that it gets to a point where Susan and I both say, okay, there's nothing else to change.
Okay.
I like
Like
it.
that, I want to keep looking at it until both of us don't see anything.
So you
So
can just
Yeah.
uncheck the revise, and then,
We could do that.
or you
Yeah,
just add
I think
more.
that's a good way
whatever.
to do it.
Or yeah, I was thinking of just adding more, but we could also like, just undo it. But
It would be kind of funny to keep track of how many revisions there were because I'm sure some of them will get silly long.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, we could just add because, like, okay. So yeah, as soon as we're done like a first draft or something, we just have to check off on both, and yeah, that makes total sense.
Somehow
I'm
the
on board.
Malchus Stout block ends up with 52 items
Right,
on the checklist.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
I'm
there's
interested
gonna be
in
one
which ones
thing.
has a lot. Like I'm interested. I'm here for it.
Well, the longer someone's story is, the worse it's gonna be
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's,
And
there's some
we're
big
not even
ones
at the
out there.
lore yet. You guys are gonna have a time.
Yeah.
I know. I was like the stat blocks. I was like, I've worked on this for 5 hours.
Yeah.
There's
You
one.
did-
that
time
I'll
goes
just
away
go
when you
with
start working
someone.
on this shit.
Yeah.
I spent a good Saturday on it.
Yeah. So the place where I have dropped the ball recently is in revising lore. I apologize. But hey, a big project is off my plate now, so I now have more time because I don't have to threaten Kraken print every 2 days.
Yeah.
Yay.
Do you mean for
Congrats.
this?
For that right there?
The pub
Yeah.
crawl
That thing?
anthology,
The
everybody?
peg crawl? The peg
at
It's so
crawl?
weird that you have it.
Yeah.
It's so weird that you have that in your
We
hands. That was in
possess
my
it.
hands on Monday.
Right? That's so weird.
I almost sent you a picture. I was like, look what I packed.
They were just
It's
dumped
weird
on
when
our
things
doorstep.
like get to the place you want them to get in a reasonable time frame. Isn't
Ah,
that weird?
man.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
It's so weird, yeah, because I put them in the mail. I was like, that's
I gotta
the
change the
last of
rages.
it. And then the next day I started getting messages from people being like, hey, I got it. I was like, you live ways away. That was really fast. So
I
that's
think
really
I'm
cool.
getting mine next week.
Next week.
Really?
Shipping said.
You're on
Yeah.
the same coast. That doesn't seem right.
Things get lost
Yeah.
in Florida.
Ah.
Florida's really big. It takes days to get from one side to the other.
Yeah, but people in California have gotten them.
Yeah.
I was about to say California's bigger.
Yeah, California's way bigger.
You can't explain it. Florida
It's
like
is
the
just
second
the
biggest.
continental Bermuda
Third?
Triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Well, let me know when you get it because it's super cool to see people.
It's-
While we were talking, Dashik's just hit me up to tell me he got his. So
Oh, that's
Hi,
awesome.
Cheeks. You're probably watching this too. Sup?
Yeah.
Hi.
I hope that like a
so
week from now I just get 2 tags on Discord that make no sense to me.
So, to that end, let's rip through. Val, Susan, you guys got anything else on the stat blocks?
I have one thing.
Okay.
Just one. Did we want to break down the AC and hit points? Because I've seen that in other RPGs.
Okay, we talk because the way I've been writing it is just the letters AC and HP.
Oh no, that I did.
That's already been corrected.
That's already
I
been
already
said.
did that.
Yeah.
I meant like AC is base 10 natural armor plus 2 for their leather or plus 1 for whatever or something, you know?
I'm.
And then hit points are usually base this plus 2d6 or something, you know?
How hard is that to find on the fantasy grounds?
It's.
If you just give me their class, I could do it.
Yeah, it's one of those
Yeah,
things.
but can you do it times 260 though?
Yeah, and it's there's like okay. Here's
There's
the thing.
a lot of them that'll just be base. 'Cause it's not like Artemis is walking around wearing armor.
And that's okay. This is my problem.
And then some people don't have classes.
That's most people
as well.
don't.
Yeah.
Like that's okay. So for all the NPCs that are PCs on the show, that makes perfect sense. For Valerie in Whitehedge, who's watching after two kids, Bree's mom. For Artemis, for Graddock, I don't want them all to be listed as commoner and have 10. Like I'm trying to mix it up with actual stats, so
Okay.
it's a little tricky.
Yeah, and I only bring it up because, you know, we cater to nerds and they love the math behind things.
I know, and it's
Yeah.
that's so. If we're talking about the forward of the book, a lot of things like okay, I'm banging my head against a wall right now called region tables.
I'm helping.
You are Bree stepped in and is helping today because I need to talk to another human about this.
It's the
because
first time I get to pace and come up with ideas
Right.
while he's writing shit down. It's never happened before.
because there are hundreds and hundreds of these prompts, and I obviously want each region to feel a little different. And I like I'm throwing in the travel die system now, and there's a lot to take. So if we were to do just Jesus, what is it, 80 tape, whatever it was, it would be 4,800 prompts. And obviously that doesn't fit. It's not the number. It's like, well, some of these regions are going to be a little more diverse than others.
Yeah, some of them are just going to be like, roll a d6 for weather.
Yeah, stuff like that. So
Very
like it's got to
rarely,
fit
but, you know.
what would be in the world, and it's a big thing. So what was my point?
I don't fucking
Yeah, I wasn't
remember.
sure where you were going
Catering
with
to
that.
nerds.
Catering to nerds, yes. So
Well, that's catering to nerds.
Yes, I obviously want to show them the math behind that, but it is something we have to explain. It's like, look, giving them the information, and it's like, make it fit. Like, change it. If you think Maddie should be wearing splint mail instead of this, go ahead, change it, make it fit. That's fine.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, that's all good. How Jason would use the book is all going to be in the forward, basically.
because we're also basing it on what level they are currently, where their hit points are going to change. Their armor class might change later.
Yeah.
All that might,
Yeah.
Not to be devil's advocate, then that leads to leaving the math in there.
Does it?
But
Oh, it
Yeah,
does. Well, okay, if you
level
want
them
to.
up, yeah, plus level, plus.
You know what?
I know it's more work.
No. Look, I want it to be right, is the thing. And we can do that. Like, if you want, like, okay, let's work out a system for the people who don't have classes, is my thing. Because, again, I don't want them to just be commoner.
Yeah.
Because.
All base 10 of commoner or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, like, Graddock.
His evasion's got to be through the roof, right?
Like, he's a runner. He's like small distance runner. But, like, his strength isn't going to be listed as a 10 because he would technically fall under the commoner. But, like, he's not going to have the same strength as, say, God, even Valerie would be strong. Tessie would be stronger than Graddock. Like, it's not...
So,
You keep using Valerie as
about
an
a middle
example, and
ground?
it's really confusing Valerie.
Sorry, Val.
Oh, no, that was the other Valerie.
Valerie
I thought-
Ebbelman.
I thought it was, Valerie would be, no, she wouldn't be. Tessie would be stronger than Graddock.
Which is also true.
Yeah.
I mean, both.
Yeah.
What about a middle ground where I like the idea of breaking down the math for the hit points for the purpose of like scaling level or something like that? Being like, his hit points are 50, but that's because of 10d6 or whatever
Right.
it is. And that allows for scalability, to Susan's point. I don't know. I feel like breaking out an armor class into its components is a rabbit hole.
We could even do just 10 plus the dex because that's AC there, and then then we could say add your own armor.
Okay.
You know?
I think the only, like, I would argue for the armor being included only because what if, like, okay,
I'm
someone's
sorry.
talking to, I'm sorry, but someone's talking to fucking Aster, and they get into a fight, but Aster didn't put their armor back on. Now the DM's gonna want the version of Aster without armor on.
I think
Right.
if
Which is
you know
happening
that
on the
Aster-
show.
Subtract a little bit.
Right. That's If nerds like math so much, do the math.
That's fair. That's a valid point.
Well,
You know what?
okay, I am doing that. Here's the thing. I am doing that with monsters, but I'm doing it with the hit points for, the way I like to do it is I like to roll hit points for monsters on the table because I think it gives them some diversity. Some je ne sais quoi. So, like, I like it because it's like if you're fighting 3 boars, those 3 boars will have different hit points, so it's like we know exactly 63
won't-
hit points, guys.
So
So
it
maybe
won't be
list the hit
boring.
dice instead of the hit points.
Yeah, that's what we usually do in the book.
Yeah.
For
Wait, what happened?
monsters on the hit dice.
Yes. So I am doing that for monsters, and we could do
Okay.
that for NPCs if you really want. But okay, you take the Grimness Grace twins, and like I
Oh.
think they have 2 hit points or something because they're babies. You can kick them to death real easy.
Roll a 1d4. There you
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So like, fine, we'll do
Easy.
that, and then the armor, it's just like here's the AC, make it work. We'll just Tim Gun them.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
armor is that could get ugly real fast going down that rabbit hole. But I do like the idea of breaking out hit dice and hit points a little bit.
Yeah, because they do have all the stats and the modifiers there, so they can
Yeah.
work that out
But
pretty
again,
easily.
this is not an area where I'm gonna put down my foot on anything. So whatever you guys decide's best,
Right.
honestly.
I really just wanted to bring it up because I thought about it and I was like, that's what it looks like in my book, but I don't care either way.
Right, and we're doing 260 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
there's like wizards can do that because there's like 10
Yeah.
NPCs for it's like that's great.
I think they have a lot of unpaid interns at Wizards.
Yes.
To do that kind of stuff.
Right. There's a lot of whip
So-
cracking. So like we you know
Being
And it-
recorded.
hi.
Just a reminder.
It's not slander if it was a joke. Um,
But all corporations are the devil. There's no
Shush,
ethical
shush, shush,
consumption
shush,
under capitalism. Let's go!
huggala huggala. So
We're getting a little punchy 2 hours in.
fucking 2-hour meeting.
It's been yeah. So
Okay. What are we talking about? Yeah. So
Wizards?
no. So yeah, we can. I like the fact that like you changed AC to. Yeah, I want it to look not like a wizard stat block, but I do want people to have the information there and have it
Yeah.
be something they're used to. Like they can walk in. It's like, oh, that looks right to me. And we
Yeah.
could do hit points. That's fine. For the AC, we can just like I think we could just give them AC. And if
We could even just say natural armor. This is what it is. Like,
well, yeah, and I've been doing that again for all the monsters and stuff like that, even the cryptids and stuff like that. It's like, okay, this is natural armor, or this is
Okay.
this, and yeah.
yeah.
And again, all this is meant to be changed if they want to anyway.
Yeah.
If you think someone's AC should be higher or lower, change it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think the important thing is the lore, the stats, the tools, like all that stuff right there is the vital stuff that they don't have to sit and like create. But if they feel like it's like, ah, man, Maddie should have a higher AC, make it higher. Go
She
ahead.
should. Jason, she should.
You turned down the armor, Susan.
Or are we just taking
Yeah.
suggestions now?
No.
It's the same as my own. With that armor.
Just pull a group B. Just it doesn't matter. Just give her the gauntlets. It's fine.
All right. Well, we should move on.
Yeah. Holy shit, we haven't even touched Trello yet. Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah. No. Let's honestly. Here's the thing. Here's my review of the rest of Trello. Everything else is underway. We're working on it.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to revise any of the lore. It's you guys have been kicking ass on it. You've done a ton of work. It's all in the right place though, right?
Dude.
So I can
Yeah.
see where it's all at.
I just moved the Grimness Graces out of it because I wrote it like they were around 4 or 5, but they're actually like 2 years old, so I have to
2.5.
rewrite that a little bit.
Yeah.
But everything
Okay.
else is where it belongs.
Bree's
Okay.
been a monster when it comes to the lore. She's been cutting it through that like a buzzsaw. I did all the stats I could do
Yeah.
right now. So there's
Mhm.
like, I don't know, 10, 15 stat blocks I did. and I'm working on
Regions.
travel tables
Yeah.
and regions.
And that's one of those things where, like, that's not boring work, but it's tough to just randomly come up with a bunch of prompts.
Well, it's a
So-
lot of cross-referencing, and it's what I brought up to Bree was it's not how I run the game.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Which,
all
again,
these-
that's going to be in the forward. It's like, if just because someone's in Winterhaven and they roll a 4 doesn't mean they're going to get what's on the table in this book.
in the show.
Yeah.
So, because it's like all these things are constantly changing, time of year, what happened recently, where things are. So, these things are printed, so they're static. They will not change. So, I'm trying
Yeah.
to keep some of it open-ended, so it's just an idea for a DM to go, oh, okay, cool.
There's some fun
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
in, though. That,
Yeah.
like, we
I
were
mean,
coming up
it's-
with some today. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, also feel like it's static, yes, but it's another one of those things where, like, you know, if change it.
Yeah,
You know.
change it.
Right, if you read one of, because again, there's so many for each region. So it's like if you read something in Brightport that you want to use in the device, use it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Use
Go
it.
ahead.
Yeah, don't
Fuck it.
roll.
You paid for the book.
Just use it.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
There is a PDF out there, so.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, everything that's in progress right now, there's a ton of shit in progress. It's all, it's all being worked on. Like, we all know that everybody else is doing what they need to do, so I don't feel the need to go item by item on the rest of this right now.
I'm going to
Okay.
hit up
As-
everybody I need to hit up tomorrow for backstory stuff, too, because there's like 3 or 4 people that haven't gotten back to me, and it's right before the weekend. Like, I want to catch them on their Fridays.
Yeah,
Give them homework.
Yeah.
give them homework. Yeah. No,
Don't
I
spend
feel
time with your
honestly,
kids.
I feel pretty good about where we're at with this. I just need to get on the ball for revising stuff for
You're
myself
doing
personally.
great.
Yeah, dude, you've been
Um,
busy.
Well, you know, but also there's shit to do. So
Yeah, a little column A, a little column B.
I was busting balls on Discord, and I was like, did he take that seriously? Because I wasn't like,
what the no days off?
yeah, it's like, ooh, I get to say this now. Like that's.
No, I mean, my idea of a day off is being able to relax and do whatever I want to do. I have kids. There are no days off.
Oh.
That's
Like-
fair.
I haven't had a day off in 5 years, and I won't for another 13. Although I've made it now, so
even
another
then?
17.
I was about to say, do you
Yeah.
think they're moving out at 18? Because that's not the America we live in anymore.
No.
No, nope.
You got them till
But-
they're 30 at least.
Especially with loving parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would they leave?
I'm 22. I've been mooching up for years.
Is your mom still right behind you? Because that would be great.
Yeah.
I think she. Actually, she might.
Val, hold on to that
I know
insurance
she
as
did.
long as you can. Don't
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
don't ever leave.
Dude.
Don't-
Me is leaving in 2 months.
Ooh. Yeah.
You
that's
got
fair.
it. You got this.
You're good. You're
You're
fine.
doing great.
So,
What
any
else? Do we have anything
Final
else? I
notes?
feel pretty good about where we're at, honestly. I think if in the next 2 weeks we can get Jasper to drop in, because I think we've collected enough questions for him at this
Yeah.
point. But beyond that, I think if everybody keeps doing what they're doing, we can have another one of these that hopefully isn't a full 2 hours next time.
So I have all of our notes from today, basically, but the things we're doing right away. Jason's going to take over talking to Daniel. We need to pick some logos for Sierra. We're going to talk to that module guy. I'm going to tag Val and Susan, the transcribers. We're going to try to get Jasper in one of these meetings soon. And I think that's it as far as like stuff that needs to be done, because we made a lot of decisions about editing on this
no.
page over here.
Yeah, if you want to, the only thing I would add to that, it's not super urgent, is if you want to identify like 1 or 2 more characters for Rock to work on if he finishes Avalan.
Right, yeah. Rock.
But beyond that, yeah, I think everybody's got stuff they can work on for the next week. So
Awesome. Why did you just make that sound?
I got a game Sunday and I forgot all about it.
Oh no.
I should probably prep that. That's for a
That's
friend.
that's for Wade.
That's for a friend.
He's cool.
That's just one of those things that's like, oh, I should get that ready.
No
yeah.
days off.
no days off.
No days off.
Saturday off.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
When this book's published, we should all just get that tattooed somewhere.
Just not in the butt, because you might get stabbed there.
Yeah,
You'll get stabbed there a lot if you get a tattoo on it.
that's true. Over and
Oh.
over.
That's fair.
Although I feel like having no days off tattooed on your butt gives a whole different. I'm not- No, thank you.
it. That's a great place.
You know what?
to
I
end
think we're
on.
done.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
You're not following
Thank
that.
you, Kickstarter folks.
Yeah. Hopefully
This was fun for you.
Yeah, I'd like to try and do like 2 of these every month if possible, because I was thinking about it, and it's like if we do one, then it's like, man, there's only going to be like 5, 6, 7 of these, something like that, and it's nice because you get to see all the tedious minutia that goes into making a book like this when it's a small team.
And you get to have opinions on all the things we just came up with, and like you can tell us how wrong we are in the comments down below.
I mean, we're still going to do it.
Yeah.
Full
But,
disclosure,
like,
I'm
these
not paying
decisions
attention
were
to
made.
anybody's opinion if they're not in this call. I'm
That's
sorry.
No. But
Love
you.
you.
It's like YouTube
Yeah.
comments. You get to
You can
express
tell
them
me.
even though no one's
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah.
Call us names, do whatever, but like we're still doing the thing because
Yeah, that's fine.
books got to get done. So,
Yeah.
thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, we're going to be in touch constantly this week anyway, but this is good. I need to go find food.
Yes,
Yeah.
food.
And then probably sleep immediately afterwards. So,
Okay.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Good luck, guys.
All right,
Have
guys.
fun. Bye,
Have a
East
good
Coast
night.
friends.
Bye.
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 Everybody.